to advancing Pillar 1 on agricultural value addition. And therefore, that Pillar 1 makes all those contributions in the advancement of SDGs. It goes without saying that so does the financial inclusion. PDM, or the parish development model, interfaces with the SDGs, and our assessment is that it largely makes such a big and significant contribution to the delivery of SDGs as I've highlighted here. If you looked at SDG 1, if you looked at 2, if you looked at 8, if you looked at 10, if you looked at 12, if you looked at, to mention but a few, and as a matter of fact, the partnerships one, the global partnerships one, the parish development model makes a key contribution in those areas.
The State Minister for Northern Uganda, Queen Grace Freedom, has called upon the leaders to be exemplary to the members of the community they represent.
When a program like Parish Development Model comes, it requires the executive plus the implementers all to have the same vision. And in the end, it is the implementers now to show results that for whatever money we have got, 100 million, this is what we have. But many times, the challenge is that some leaders start destroying the programs even before it has taken off. And so that is my appeal, that all of us have to share first the vision, but two, we have to be the role models. If we are going to talk about 4-acre model, commodities that will transform our lives from poverty to prosperity, I, the minister, the cow, the LC5 chairpersons must be examples for the communities to learn from. So my appeal was that all of us, in order for the parish development model to succeed, we should be in our parishes to strengthen the thinking and the ideology and also be as an example. There are also cases of where government programs have not been implemented well because again of corruption and poor leadership. This time round, we should ensure that the leadership at the community level plans and implements what can be sustainable, what can stand for prosperity. Some projects have gone to the communities, but they have not been sustained. So these are the things I am appealing to our local leaders to take up.
Right Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba, the Minister for General Duties and Focal Point Minister for Sustainable Development Goals, says the sensitization will awaken the beneficiaries and make them full participants of the program.
The theme for the conference this year is building effective models to accelerate the SDGs in the post-COVID-19 era. This theme has resonance with the context of the National Development Plan 3 implementation vehicle for the parish development model. When we talk about the parish development model, politicians, I want to tell you, the sensitization and mobilization that you are doing, I want to thank you for those of you who are doing it. But I want to tell you as fellow politicians, it is going to reawaken the ordinary person at or household level. They will come up to challenge us that you as a leader, what have you done? When did you ever come here to guide us? Whether you have money or not, begin from where you are, your parish. Get involved, participate like my colleague has advised you, but also at the same time, walk to the neighbors if you don't have fuel to make sure they do the right thing. It is our hope, therefore, that this regional consultation will provide an opportunity for all of us to discuss and find solutions, creative solutions to our collective challenges as a country, a continent, and a globe. And we continue in our national and global commitment to say leaving nobody behind, but also reaching to the farthest. The SDG framework, and we recognize that these are all central themes that run through our vision of 2040, our National Development Plan and Parish Development Model and the NRM Manifesto. We therefore must do everything together to ensure that the citizens of this country are now not only beneficiaries, but also active participants in this journey.
The government's leading program is meant for the only 39% of Ugandans who are living a subsistence life to enable them to get involved in the cash economy worth 490 billion Ugandan shillings to eradicate poverty through execution of development activities at the parish level. Emmanuel Agele, West Nile TV.
Both the locals and the refugees living in YUMBE district have been urged to protect the environment. This appeal was made to them during the belated World Environment Day celebrated by the district under the theme, One Earth. YUMBE district is one of the districts hosting refugees in the West Nile, that its green cover has been destroyed by the activities of the refugees. Take a look.
Due to lack of big trees, due to much deforestation, we are actually facing a lot of challenge in receiving low rainfall. Our wetlands have dried. There are no wind breaks. It's due to rampant cutting of trees.
I will also be proud that as a refugee, as a home state, I would even think as the Kululu Sub-County local government that in each year, a home state should plant more than 5 seedlings in a year. So I think if it is possible, we could see that at least home states plant 5 seedlings per year.
Trees to be planted by this woman, yet because she has no land, she has not planted together with her husband, definitely it will be hard for her now to plant these trees that you have given. Not only that, we are also using these trees for cooking. Using this ordinary oven here, this saving stove, we have 3 stones here. It consumes a lot of firewood, which is taking much of our trees.
Is the attitude change to our One Earth? Ichoda mbogo teterufa ama duo udolega darari ini oratanga amadiga omi amadiga ro chacho obicho ndrechoa onoku tokaya lodi atalambengo niari. Are we going to protect this One Earth or accept to go to Earth B, which is still on the same earth? Ama munoko mabuchori batamba muke mukeraya wala ama leleri ama mumo ama nunuku aziriga nuku azi ichori va ma drajora ava masa alolo de. If we are not ready to die quickly, then we must protect our environment. Alejodra otoroko le amba nuku ma drajori bata. This is personal affair. Individually, you as an individual. Therefore, my question is, we are talking about tree planting. How many have you planted yourself? If we leave from here, are you going to plant? If you don't know how many you have planted and you are not sure if you are going to plant, then we are wasting time discussing here. To plant is one thing, and to maintain is another.
The Territorial Police of IF Division is investigating a murder by mob where 3 people who are alleged to be habitual animal thieves were murdered in cold blood by the angry locals in Breeza Cell, Umbachi Ward, IF West Division. According to the mouthpiece West Nile Sub-Region Josephine Anguchia, the incident took place on the 15th June 2022. Take a look.
It's true that the Territorial Police of Ive West Division is investigating an incident of murder by mob where 3 people who are alleged to be habitual animal thieves were murdered by angry locals in a Barize cell, Mbati Ward, Ive West Division. This incident occurred on 15th June 2022 at about 6:30 p.m. in the evening, where somebody from within the area gave information to police that there was a mob action taking place. So by the time our officers from Lear Police Post responded to the scene, they found that the 3 people were already killed, and the suspectedly stolen goats were tied on their legs. So as the police, we could not do much but to pick the bodies, conveyed them to Arua Regional Referral Hospital for further management, and investigations started immediately so as to get to know the people who might have taken law into their hands to do the unexpected. Much as the action, the behaviors or the conducts of these criminals are sometimes bad, much as they may be habitual thieves and robbers, we don't encourage people to take law into their hands to kill them, because we have lawful procedures. We're in a modern society where we have a very good system of instituting justice. So we have police, we have the LCs, and if it is a criminal matter like that, police should be informed. The suspect should be forwarded or handed over to police. We do vast investigations, and in the process we end up getting even allies of these thieves or these criminals. We end up getting exhibits which might have been hidden somewhere, and appropriate action is taken on them. So this habit of taking law into their hands, people charging up to kill, is not accepted by our constitution. So whoever will be found to have taken law into his or her hands to do things in a group or to do a criminal act in a group will be charged accordingly. If they kill, they will be charged for murdering. If they do distractions, they will be charged for causing malicious damage to properties, and whichever action they take, they will be charged accordingly. So people should desist from that. They should use lawful procedures of handling issues.
Leaders in northern Uganda continue to cry to the government for affordable clean energy supply to the region. The manager of West Nile Electrification Company, Engineer Kenneth Kigumba, stated the government plans to connect the West Nile region to the main grid. Emmanuel Agele reports.
Leaders in northern Uganda continue to cry to the government for affordable and clean energy supply to the region. This call is made during the Sustainable Development Goals Northern Uganda Regional Conference, aimed at sharing ideas towards achieving SDGs. Dr. Albert Byamugisha, the head of SDGs Secretariat, during his key highlights on Uganda's performance on Sustainable Development Goals, breaks down the consumption of affordable and clean energy.
Energy, the percentage of households with access to electricity, the report says 56.7%, but it says 56.7%, it's only 28% who are utilizing it. Yes, there is power, some areas where they are passing on top of the houses, and you find people are not accessing it. And the reason that because it's very expensive, people can't afford it, but there are even others who are ended up using solar. And once, of course, the cost goes down, many people will utilize it. But at least the generation capacity has improved. Now we have 1,252 megawatts, and which is slightly below the national development target, but almost there.
The manager of West Nile Rural Electrification Company, WENRECO, Engineer Kenneth Chigumba, explains the challenges they face in transmission and government's plans to connect the West Nile region to the main grid.
The first challenge is the availability of the power. We don't have, as WENRECO, the capacity to meet the demand as an entity, WENRECO as an entity. Now, if you're relying on a supplementary source of generation to help you meet the deficit, then whatever challenges they face the other side, you have to be ready to accommodate them. It's now us speaking for them, like I'm here, and if there's no power in West Nile now because the supplementary source of generation is not meeting to their expectations, it will be me pleading again on their behalf. My last engagement with the people running this project, the National Grid project, is that the towers have reached about 45 kilometers away from Arua. Now, 45 kilometers away from Arua, we are pretty much in the metropolitan setup of this region.
Yes, yes.
So I'm expecting a lot of way leaves and clearance challenges. This is likely to be the reason why the project is not moving at the speed we would have loved it to move. It has reached an area where people are more aware. People are more, more commercially driven than the ones before.
Yes, yes.
So they are bound to face a lot of challenges in getting clearance and acceptance to put a tower in their area. This is likely to be the reason why the progress is stalled.
Yes, yes.
However, if again, like you say, community leaders and political leaders are, putting both arms and legs into this, we're likely to score some success.
Okwanga Alfred, the mayor of Gulu City, says lack of steady clean energy has hindered investors from setting up industries in the region.
Like affordable and clean energy here in northern Uganda. And Uganda we are destroying our environment. Electricity is produced from Uganda but not widely distributed. Let our government concentrate in the distribution of electricity to all the households if possible. Then reduce the cost for the bill so that we stop destroying our environment in terms of burning charcoals for cooking and the rest. This is achievable. In Gulu City, we have serious problem of electricity. Load shedding for more than at least averagely 5 days in a week we have load shedding. Electricity can be there stable only 2 days in a week. And the voltage is very low, and we are being primed everywhere we reach so that we have a stable electricity. There should be metallic pylon bringing electricity, and electricity stations should be in Gulu City to promote industrialization and also domestic.
The State Minister for General Duties and Focal Point Minister for SDGs has called for concerted effort from the concerned ministries and stakeholders to tackle the vice.
We have talked about issues to do with electricity. I think Minister for Northern Uganda, we've been paying a lot of attention of electricity coverage, West Nile. I think we better now hold meetings at the sub-regional level with the minister and the team from the Ministry of Energy to come and explain all the programs. But also equally to tell them the little effort under the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that has been put in so far on issues to do with the reducing on the cost, the unity cost of electricity, because that's also another impediment that we need to deal, we are dealing with, but also be able to spell out to the people when you invest where, what are the advantages. That should also be coupled with the issues to do with the investment.
However, the ministry is committed with the contractors to deliver power and expects to deliver a transmission connecting Western region to the national grid by September, after West Nile being called a dark region for years. Emmanuel Agele, West Nile TV.
Aurora Regional Police Headquarters is still detaining the Maracha officials detained on allegations of abuse of office and misappropriation of government funds meant to carry out constructions of the Kololo Seed Secondary School in Maracha District. The police spokesperson for the West Nile Sub-Region, Josephine Anguchia, stated in her press statement that the culprits in their custody pending further investigations into the allegations are the District Education Officer, Osora Flavia, the Internal Auditor, Abarigale Paul, the Civil Engineer, Zati Timothy, and the District Environment Officer, Maracha, Nola Avok. Take a look.
Arua Regional Police Headquarters is still detaining the district officials of Maracha, who were summoned and later on detained on allegation of abuse of office and misappropriation of government funds, which were meant to carry out constructions in a Kololo Seed Secondary School in Maracha District. So the people who are in our custody are the District Education Officer. This is Madame Osoa Flavia, the Internal Auditor, Maracha District, that is Mr. Abiribale Paul Titia, the Senior Civil Engineer, that is Mr. Ezati Timothy Maluma, and the District Environment Officer, Maracha, that is Avako Nola. So the four are in our custody, pending investigations into these allegations. The allegations started as general inquiries by some whistleblowers within the community. From there, the case was, general inquiry file was opened at Arua Regional Police Headquarters. A team of said officers went to Kololo Seed Secondary School to ascertain the level of construction and then to ascertain the facts on these complaints which were raised on the unfinished constructions. And indeed it was found that the constructions were not completed. There were a number of projects within the school for which money was already signed, but the projects were not finished. According to the report our officers got, about 1.9 billion Ugandan shillings was signed by the concerned parties to finish up these projects. But then the money was signed, it got finished, the projects have remained unfinished. So police is now continuing with inquiries as to who erred where. That's why these district leaders were picked to assist police with investigations because of their roles they play in supervision, in monitoring, in issuing of the certificate of payments and so on. They have their roles to play. That's why they were picked by police to assist police with investigations. Some of them are responsible for monitoring, others are responsible for issuing the payments, others are responsible for signing the payment certificates. Actually, all of them signed. So the issue is, why did they sign on the payment certificate when work has not been completed? And this is a contract which was supposed to be for 1 year, but now it has taken 3 years, about 3 years, without being completed. Everything has been abandoned and they are saying there's no money to finish up. So who erred where? As police, we had to move in to carry out these investigations. At the rightful time, the case file will be compiled, the file will be forwarded to the DPP for advice, and then further action will be taken on them. And these are not the only people that we're investigating. There are a number of others that we are going to require to give in statements so as to establish facts into these allegations. So as police, we are yet summoning other people to come and give in their statements so that we are able to come up with the truth on these allegations. Actually, anytime they are going to be transported, they are going to be transferred to, say, the headquarters, Kampala, and then from there, of course, they will be handed over to whichever department is there. They can be handed over to anti-corruption, or they can be managed accordingly. No, they can't sanction now yet. It is the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, that will sanction their case file. They are going to read through, then they will give advice. Yeah, they will even recommend on appropriate charges. What we have right now is at general inquiry level. But then they will peruse through the statements of witnesses, of the suspects, then they will prefer appropriate charges on the people arrested. Others are still at large, but at the rightful time, they will be picked up to assist in investigations.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng, has refuted the allegations that the Ministry of Health is vaccinating children forcefully. However, the minister says that the vaccines being administered to children are safe and calls upon the parents to embrace the exercise. The minister made this clarification while addressing the press at a press conference in Kampala City. Take a look.
Nobody should tell you that Ministry of Health is forcefully vaccinating any child. We have had engagements with the Ministry of Education. We are yet to have a whole national task force sit down and discuss this issue and then bring the parents on board to guide. The final decision will be from the parents. And if we are to vaccinate the children, it will be during holidays. The vaccines will be stationed at specific points if the parents do agree. And they will be requested to voluntarily take their children to get vaccinated. Nobody will force any parent to vaccinate their child for COVID-19. However, again, we give you the information. It is extremely necessary that you vaccinate yourself and your child so that you don't end up regretting at the end of the day. I know there are so many myths and misconceptions about vaccines and the side effects of vaccines. But again, WHO has guided. The vaccines are safe, they are efficacious, and they protect.
And with that story, we have come to the end of the Nile Cast on West Nile Television. My name is Okumaringa Christine. Good evening.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Judgment perfection. No mountain is too high for me to climb. No river is too deep for me to cross. Oh, baby, I love you, love you, love you, my baby. If you're ready, I'm ready, If you're ready, I'm ready, girl. Cause I love you so much, oh baby. Tell me if you love me too. If you're ready, I'm ready, If you're ready, I'm ready, girl. I love you, my baby, Madre piloya, asaba fe madaba yo. Ndritanda mongo ni feba mutini rifela andro baloni yo. Madre piloya, asaba fe madaba yo. Ndritanda mongo ni feba mutini rifela andro baloni yo. Okorisi mesu mi pata isari a white castle. Irijurisi, afudri mi begerikuwa. Isu skaita ya. Style mini ya jumadi dia dari pepila oh I fought. Ekila mandela diati, atingaro bi mumani dia, baby oh. Anemi da mambilia, ayo mamune akuwa. Marane utamane vule, madu pilaya, asaba pia madabayo. Nditandra mungu ni feba mudrini rifelo andro baloni yo. Madu pilaya, asaba pia madabayo. Nditandra mungu ni feba mudrini rifelo andro baloni.